welcome back to Sci-Fi on the Rock TV. Steve Lake here with Ellen Curtis as always.
Hi.
Hi, Ellen. We're just doing some interviews with people leading up to Sci-Fi on the Rock 4 in April here in St. John's, our wonderful sci-fi convention. Ellen, who are you interviewing tonight?
I'm going to be interviewing Justin Foley, and we're going to be talking about the Lightsaber workshop.
Awesome. And later on I'll be talking with Peggy Dixon, the event coordinator for Sci-Fi on the Rock, about the Christmas parades that took place here in St. John's, so that should be some fun.
Should be.
All that as Sci-Fi on the Rock continues.
Okay, so now we're here with Justin Foley, and you'll be conducting the Lightsaber workshop again this year. Alright, so that's generally pretty popular, and...
Yeah, last year we had a pretty well packed room for both days. It was a two-day event last year, and couldn't fit another person into the room. It was brilliant.
Alright, so public obviously responded very well to that, and you said it's going to be conducted in two parts. So what techniques are being taught?
Well, there are 6 basic attacks that get taught, and there are also 6 basic defenses that get taught. And on the first part of the lightsaber workshop, I teach the 6 basic attacks and defenses. Then the second part of the workshop, I teach them combinations using the different attacks and defenses. So it's like attack 1, 3, and 5 in succession, and then 2, 3, and 2 again. Teach them things like that.
Alright, so for people who've gone before, because obviously there are going to be lots, are there going to be any new techniques?
Well, I'm still going to go over the basic attacks and defenses again, just because we're going to have some new people show up, I'm certain of that. But we're also going to have, I'm going to see if I can introduce two-handed lightsaber wielding there.
Alright.
As well as see if I can throw in some more advanced combinations. Right now, I've only taught 3-move combos. I'm going to see if I can up that to 5.
Alright, sounds exciting. So what ages generally participate in the lightsaber event?
Oh, well, it's a bigger draw for kids, definitely. It's one of our more kid-friendly activities. We have a lot of them, but this is probably the biggest one. But it's open for anybody. I mean, on myself, I'm 22 going on 6, so I would, if I wasn't teaching it, I'd be going to it too. Like, how often do you get to go around and beat people with lightsabers and not get into trouble for it, right?
Yeah, so at the end of the events, what goes on?
Well, at the end of each day, because it's a 2-day event, each participant gets a certificate. On day 1, they become certified Jedi Padawans.
Alright.
And then at the end of the second day, after their final challenge, which serves as their exam, if they survive, they get up to a Jedi Master.
Okay, so is this just for Jedis, or are the dark side going to be allowed in?
Oh, well, dark side's definitely allowed in. We need people for target practice. But no, anybody can come in.
Alright, so do the participants need to bring any of their own equipment, lightsabers, or anything else?
If they can bring their own lightsabers, that would be very beneficial. We do have a couple of spares that we can give to people who happen to forget, but we've only got about 5 or 6 that we can do that with. So if you can bring your own lightsaber, that would be great.
Great, well thanks Justin, and I hope you have another successful year.
Thanks, Ellen.
Now back to Steve.
Hi, thanks Ellen. I'm joined at this time by Peggy Dixon, the Special Events Coordinator for Sci-Fi on the Rock. Hi Peg.
Hi Steve.
How you doing?
Great, thanks.
Welcome to Sci-Fi on the Rock TV.
Great to be here.
Good to have you here. Recently you helped organize Sci-Fi on the Rock's participation in a couple of Christmas parades, St. John's and Mount Pearl. How'd they go?
They went really, really well. It's the first year that we've ever had a float in a parade, but last year we did walk in one, so this was quite different. And last year also we just participated in the one in Mount Pearl.
Yeah.
And this year we did 2. We did Mount Pearl again. And we also did St. John's, which is a huge parade, 60,000 or so people watching. And
it's a bigger deal.
It was a bigger deal. I mean, they were both great.
Yeah.
And we used the same float in both, but it was a lot of fun.
Now, speaking of the float, I do see the award there. Sci-Fi on the Rock, first time out, actually won the award for Best Float Under 20 Feet.
We did indeed.
So I saw the float. I unfortunately didn't get down to the parade due to commitments, but saw the doctor, saw Cyberman. So how did you find out that you won the award for first place?
I was listening to the radio, and they started to talk about the parade, which had being the day before, the Sunday. And they started talking about the winners of the different categories. There's winner for the marching band and cheerleaders and the big float and so on. And then they started listing off the winners for the best float under 20 feet, which is the category that we were in. And they listed off, you know, third place, second place, and I figured, well, it wasn't us because no one had contacted me. I hadn't gotten an email or a phone call.
Yeah.
And I figured since I had been the contact, I would have heard, you know. So anyway, the next thing I heard, Sci-Fi on the Rock won first place, so I just about choked on my toothbrush. But anyway, that's how I found out, from the radio.
Okay, so you hear from the radio and you start calling, you start emailing.
I did.
And what was the reaction from the rest of the crew?
People couldn't believe it, because honestly, I mean, it was great, and we knew that they were judging and everything, but that's absolutely nothing to do with why we went into it. And we weren't expecting to do that in our first year. We didn't really know what the judging was based on or anything, so it was a big surprise, and everybody was totally thrilled.
Okay, so who were some of the people involved in building the float?
Basically, we had two main people, Matt Connolly and Brad Lambert. They're members of Sci-Fi on the Rock, but they're also part of the local office of a company called HSE Integrated, which is a health and safety company. And as I say, they have a local office, and they gave us the space to store the float.
Awesome.
They also loaned us a pickup truck to pull the trailer, and got the trailer. And not only that, they actually built the float as well. So
awesome. So
we weren't allowed to have anything to do with it.
So thanks to Brad and Matt.
Thanks very much to
all
Brad
their hard
and Matt.
work.
Exactly.
Who were some of the people on the float? Because I know I wanted to be there, but I couldn't make it. But I know you were there. I'm guessing Sam Carter.
Yep.
Yeah.
In terms of characters, we had quite a broad range of characters. We had people from Star Trek, lots of people from Star Wars. Of course, we had Darth Vader, and he always gets all the attention, which is fine. I mean, the kids love him, and funnily enough, I'm always amazed at how young they are, and they still recognize Darth Vader. Yeah, really.
Universally
recognized.
recognized.
2, 3 years old, and they're calling out to Darth Vader. But from Star Wars also, we had, you know, Jedi, we had a Mandalorian, we had a Jawa, we had Doctor Who and Cyberman, I think you mentioned before.
Mention that.
We actually had Master Chief from Halo, which also a lot of people recognized.
I remember that costume. That was awesome.
We had a couple of people from Harry Potter.
Cool.
Stargate SG-1, there were 3 characters from there. We had a Cylon from Battlestar. We even had a couple of anime characters, and we even had Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch.
The littlest Who.
We did, yeah.
Awesome.
So a huge, huge range.
That's great. So are we entering next year? With the parade, St. John's, Mount Burr, are we going to do it again?
I would think so. We haven't officially decided, but you know, I've heard people already talking about what we're going to do next year, so I'm assuming we will be, yes.
And I'll do my darndest to be on the float this time.
Hopefully you will be, yeah.
Because it looked like a great bit of fun from the
It was a
pictures
lot
I
of
saw.
fun, yeah.
Okay. So basically just keep an eye out. The website is www.scifiontherock.com. Any announcements are going to go up there for fundraising. Keep an eye out for personal appearances. Peg, awesome to have you here.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to go find Ellen and we'll wrap things up. That is going to wrap things up for this episode of Sci-Fi on the Rock TV. I want to thank Peggy Dixon for joining us this evening.
Justin Foley too.
And I want to thank Ellen for joining me in the series so far.
Steve.
And we also want to say thank you to our sponsors, because this is going to be the last episode for the year 2009. We'll be back in January with some more Sci-Fi on the Rock TV. I want to send thanks out to Engine Books for helping us out, www.enginebooks.com.
Also to Time Masters.
Vader Party as well, want to get some mention in there for them.
Hooked Up.
For helping us out with some fundraising that we did earlier in the year. Want to mention the gang in Corner Brook, Newfoundland's West Coast Con, nwcc.com. Check them out as well. It was an entertaining time in October that we had. And remember, when we come back in January, we're going to be bringing more guests to Sci-Fi on the Rock TV for our convention coming up on April 17th and 18th. You want to keep that calendar free. So I'm going to say that's it for this particular episode. Help control the critter population. Have your face hugger spayed or neutered.